You know what? I was not. And the reason why I was not is because I knew that if the New York Knicks picked him, it would irritate me. And I'm never surprised when Phil Jackson irritates me. It's just that simple. I expect him to annoy me. I expect him to grate my nerves. I expect him to get on my last damn nerves. I expect him to do things that provoke me to say he needs to get the hell out of town, that we need to put barricades up in New York City and not let him in because he doesn't care about this franchise. He doesn't care about the city. He's just here collecting money, stealing a check as far as I'm concerned. And this is the latest example of it. It's just this simple. This is the thing that bothers me about this pick. I understand this kid is solid. Ntilikina, I heard he can play. But you heard Fran Fraschilla, the great Fran Fraschilla, who does a great job scouting for us as a network. You heard him point out he's not a point guard, he's not a two guard. Well, what the hell is he? The dude didn't look any bigger than Adam Silver, the commissioner of the National Basketball Association. He almost looked as small as that dude. Now, I'm not saying the dude's a scrub. Please don't get me wrong. What I am saying is that when you look at Ntilikina, think about this for a second here. You are Phil Jackson. You got Porzingis, Latvia, Ntilikina now, France, and Lord knows where Willie Hernan Gomez is from. I understand New York's a gorgeous mosaic, but my God, when you look at who he passed up along the way, can we look at this? The next three picks, Dennis Smith Jr. out of North Carolina State. Everybody's been raving about this kid's upside, his athleticism, how he goes and gets it. He could put the ball in the hole. You had a chance to get him if you were the New York Knicks. You passed. After him, Zach Collins out of Gonzaga. Did you see this guy perform in the national championship game? This dude has a tremendous upside. That would have been a nice pick. No, you let him end up in Portland. And then at number 11, Michael Jordan and the Hornets, who had a good draft, by the way, Malik Monk. Ever heard of that dude?
Yes.
That brother could play. Did you draft him out of Kentucky? No, you didn't. Because Phil wants us to believe that Phil has scouted some dude from France thoroughly enough to know what the hell he brings when it's a task getting Phil to travel on a road trip to Cleveland, for crying out loud. But you scouting some dude in France. Give me a break. This is, listen, I'm not knocking the kid's skill. Any more than years ago, I knocked Porzingis. I didn't knock Porzingis in terms of his skill. What I said about Porzingis back then is that Phil told us we're competing for playoffs. We're going for it now. And then we found out you're engaging in a reclamation project, so you hoodwinked us because we knew you had a 4 to 5 year plan. Now we're 4 years in, and Phil is asking us to start all over again. This pick tells me...
Yeah, right. It's so much worse.
This pick tells me that Phil is asking us to wait another 4 years. That's my problem with it.
Yeah. It's so much worse even than that. But you start to think about the fact that he took over a team that 2 years previous, Phil Jackson had 54 wins, then 37 wins. He decided, I'm going to tear it all down, so they had 17 wins his first year. 3 years, so in the fourth season after you had 17 wins because you tore it all down, you're telling people you're going to tear it all down again? You have no right to do that. You have such nerve to do that. And the reason he likes this pick, Stephen A., instead of Malik Monk, who has much more upside, is because Phil Jackson's insisting on running all decisions through the triangle metric. Now, think of how insane this is. What other franchise has a team president who insists on personnel decisions being made that through the metric of his antiquated, let me say it again, empirically inferior offense, the triangle offense, that because he used it 20 years ago. I mean, even when the Lakers won in the latest iteration of their championship teams with Kobe and Gasol, they ran triangle at times. Sure, I mean, the Spurs still do at times. A lot of teams use different elements of different schemes. But it was a pick-and-roll team largely already by then. It wasn't like just adherence to the triangle when the Lakers won the chip. And since then, the league has evolved. But you have a team president insisting to his players and his head coach, you must use my offensive system from 20 years ago, and then we're going to make decisions in the draft based on that. I want to talk about Malik Monk for a second, Stephen A. Smith. Who's the best shooter in the draft?
Might be him.
I mean, you talk about upside.
Tatum.
Yeah. Is he athletic?
I believe so.
Well, is Malik Monk athletic? He's an athlete who can shoot. That's upside. He has a chance. Look, in certain ways, he resembles a lot of college stars who don't turn out to be pro stars. I get that. And maybe their pick is safer, certainly if you're going to run the triangle, I guess. Phil would know more about that than me, obviously. But Malik Monk has tremendous upside. And when you have a lottery pick, you go for upside. What, a guy who might be a decent starter? You can get that on the free agent market every single year. What did Jeremy Lin or Courtney Lee, were they hoarded by their teams? No, we're not going to let you near these guys. Those are good starters. They're fine. You can get them every year. They're not even that expensive. You need to go for upside in these situations. One word about Porzingis in that draft, Stephen A. I didn't think Porzingis was a reclamation project. Who knows? How much do we really know about him? It's so instructive what Phil thinks, what he sees, and how little he understands of what he's seeing at this moment. When he wanted Okafor, a guy with a game from another era, a dinosaur, a relic, can't play defense, can't defend in the modern game, but has a very polished post game that Phil likes. And he preferred Okafor and thought that would bring, he was more ready to play than Porzingis, who your guy, Stephen A., Gaines Jr., said, no, that's the guy. I'm actually watching these workouts. That's the guy. So whether he wanted to win now or in the future, 100 times out of 100, he should have preferred Porzingis to Okafor. But since he's thinking triangle, 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 he makes stupid decisions. And so, or at least in this case, he deserves credit. He'd given enough authority to his people and accepted their advice that he was saved from his own stupid opinion. I'm at my wit's end with Phil Jackson. I don't know what else to say.